It's mid-October, and that is a point that's worth remembering. A few things that the month of October brings with us, and the things such as Mental Health Awareness Month, which is celebrated every 10th of October, and 14th October brings us World International E-Waste Day. That means that October is a month for you to commemorate e-waste, not exactly to celebrate e-waste, but for you to be aware of e-waste. Now, if you're wondering what e-waste is discarded electrical and electronic devices that are no longer used or are broken. Now, the kicker is that you still have these devices, that old TV analog set that you still keep in your store, that Nokia 6111 slide that you last used probably in 2008, that old Technophone that you cannot resell anymore, but for some reason it still helps you here and there, maybe, so you think, but you haven't used it in a long time. That old keyboard from an old computer that you still feel that maybe perhaps, or that old phone charger that you still think is in use, and you think that one day, one time perhaps, you will maybe find use for it or pass it down to your child. That is some of the waste, e-waste, that you still keep. But it's an awareness month because you are made aware of the fact that e-waste is harmful to your health, but to the environment as well. Lots of things to learn about e-waste. Just thought I should share that. But good morning, Uganda. Thank you so much for joining UBC TV and watching us. We come to you live from Nile Avenue. My name is Julie F. Nantaba, and I am with Robert Chirabo Nyonyitono. Now, Robert and I have been laughing at a story. Uganda is such an interesting country. We've been laughing at a story of a man who reported another man from whom he stole coffee beans. Now, I'll allow Robert to tell us the detail of that story. Robert, good morning.
I love the morning to you, Julie, and of course the Ugandans that are waking up with us. Thank you so much for making up your choice this morning. Now, first, before I even go to that human interest story full of humor and laughter, a number of questions. Yesterday, some members of the National Unity Platform that had shown interest for member to represent their constituencies but never got the flag were smiling while others were whipping.
Okay.
Now, what happened is that the National Unity Platform, remember when they had their voting and that process, then later they issued out their cards to those they chose or they vetted to represent them in this election. They are flag bearers. Now, the losers or those that did not qualify in the voting petitioned. There was a committee. Now, 9 people who had gotten the NUP flag. Yesterday, the committee came out and said, no, this wasn't. There are certain things that didn't go very well. You're not the best of the best that we need. Therefore, card never jiwako nejiwewa abalala.
Wow.
Now, 9. And of course, the process is still going on. We don't know by the completion how many will have gotten the ticket that were crying for having lost it. You know, it was very painful.
Right.
There are people who invested so much, were sure they would get the NUP flag and never gotten it. Now, where there is hope for those who petitioned, but also there are those who completely said, I'm not going to petition. I'll come as an independent. People power belongs to the people. I believe they will vote me against he who has taken the flag. But those that petitioned, some have reasons to smile. Now, going to the story, I know many Ugandans know that a number of people depend on coffee for their livelihood. Now, when you talk about Wokoma Simbi, that is in Masaka, this is an area where people depend on coffee. Many people go to Chibinge, they depend on coffee. That is their livelihood. But you know, they will even tell you, wait for the season, even if they want to purchase something from you. Now, very interesting. Rajab Cheyune, this man is 45 years old. He's a resident of Bulenga village in Wokoma Simbi. Now, he wakes up in the night and goes to his neighbor's garden or plantation, that is St. Amuchaus,
Right.
to steal coffee. Now, Sentamu for long has been complaining that his coffee is being stolen, but couldn't get the thief. So he gets a panga and says, I'll wait for you. Guess what? He sees this person stealing his coffee. He chases him. They take off. This one falls in one of the coffee holes. I won't call them pits because they are for planting. They're not that very. Now, this one has a panga, slices him on the hand. He raises up, takes off on the leg. About 5 panga wounds, serious ones. Now, this one pleads, don't kill me, take me to police. At least take me to police.
Right.
Eventually, I think this one, after giving him some pangas, he says enough is enough. He goes home. Now, the thief in the morning goes to Bukoma Simbi. Now here is a suspect. Goes to Bukoma Simbi police and reports, but confessing that, well, I was chopped while I was stealing. But I want you to come and arrest the person.
Matters of the law.
Now, Charles, the owner, whose coffee was stolen, is behind bars. And the suspected thief is saying, for him, he wants 5 million shillings because he's not going to be working, he's bedridden, and he has to get treatment. He says,
Anyways, he's just merely a thief. But also, I think the little law I would understand as a civilian is that that was mere trespass. This gentleman doesn't even have to be behind bars right now because that was trespass. And the law allows him to defend himself or to protect his property.
The law is very clear. Now, even if this person committed that offense, we are supposed to arrest him and hand him over to police.
And the law also allows you to protect yourself if someone is in
Well, maybe later on our viewer will give us...
Anyways,
views.
Very interesting story at that, but let's quickly take a look at what stories have been making rounds in Uganda globally and of course in the press, starting off with what we have on the local scene.
Well, local scene is just campaigns to begin with.
Right.
Now, our President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni turned his campaign trail in Maracha district into an opportunity of prompting anti-corruption probes after concerns were raised about the Presidential Industrial Hub SACCO funds. The president, also the NRM presidential candidate, was addressing thousands of supporters at Nyandir Urban Secondary School playground. Beneficiaries of the Presidential Skilling Hub initiative pleaded for start-up capital following the completion of a 6-month training course. Museveni's surprise, the beneficiaries were unaware of the SACCO fund he had directed to be set up just a month ago to support them. President Yoweri Museveni also addressed Koboko district campaign rally at Omabachi playground last evening, putting an emphasis on wealth creation as well as consolidating what has so far been secured, mainly in the education, health and infrastructure. Museveni in Koboko district, he had been accompanied by the First Lady Janet Kataha Museveni. The Uganda National Examinations Board has declared no alternative of supporting the students of Creamfield Vocational Senior Secondary School of sitting for UCE exams. The body's spokesperson, Jennifer Kaole Musamba, said these are not known by UNEB and were scammed by the school managers, and the board has no option apart from advising them to wait for the next year. This Creamfield Vocational School, located in Nagarama, Nachifuma Town Council, Kama Village, the school was abandoned by proprietors and managers and is accused of failing to register senior for students after collecting money from them. The school is in shambles with wreckage of some scholastic material which was scrambled by protesting students. Out of the 18 candidates of Creamfield Vocational Senior Secondary School, only 3 were registered by the school. The Uganda Examinations Board is puzzled with the situation because the school is not registered with a valid center number to hold UCE exams. Excuse me. UNEB confirms no window for the students since it has data linking them to an examination body. These are advised to wait till next year for the UCE exams. The body has registered other incidences during the examinations, like in Nachifuma again, to students involved in an accident and are in critical condition, unable to write papers. And in Kasese, one student was isolated with mpox and cannot sit for exams. UNEB admits for not spreading information to the public, especially on how to track registered candidates. The Julius Nyerere Leadership Center has marked 26 years of Julius Nyerere Day at Makerere University with a call to maintain the legacy of Pan-Africanism. The Julius Nyerere Day is celebrated every 14th of October to honor the day Mwalimu died. It is 26 years since Mwalimu Julius Nyerere died, leaving a legacy that stands out as a challenge to leadership in Africa. Every 14th of October, Mwalimu is remembered as a Tanzania's founding father. Mwalimu Nyerere's influence and legacy is rooted in values of unity and self-reliancy, and for emerging leaders, it is an example for true leadership. Dr. Nastozi Muwanga told UBC the training is designed to foster a more comprehensive understanding and provide holistic view of ensuring the next generation of leaders is equipped with how to handle leadership challenges. Now, bring local stories to an end. The Permanent Secretary and Minister of ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Amina Zawede, has called for a joint collaboration between government and private sector players to address the threat of e-waste disposal. During the launch of the e-waste roadmap, Zawede said, if not safely disposed, highlighted the dangers caused by e-waste. Globally, e-waste is projected to hit 82 million tons by 2030. In Uganda, e-waste management is spearheaded by the Ministry of ICT and the Uganda Communications Commission. The initiative outlines a structured approach to the safe collection, recycling, and disposal of electronic waste. Uganda Communications Commission has introduced a data sanitation protocol ensuring that devices dropped off are completely wiped clean. Uganda's roadmap ensures the country does not contribute to this statistic by implementing practical collection, recycling, and refurbishing systems. The roadmap focuses on inclusivity, engaging local government, schools, private sector players, and community agents. Now, that brings us to the end of our local stories. E-waste. Yes, many people have these computers. Remember the ones we used to call Chibuto? They abandoned them, those TV sets that we used to have, not the flat screens, typewriters and all that. They just dump them anywhere. Yet e-waste is dangerous if not managed properly. And I'm happy government has a plan to that. So don't just dump that phone, that computer, anywhere. No, no, no. Make sure you're well versed with what to do right.
Right. That is very, very true. Or even if you're buying a new phone and you want to dispose of your old one, there is a plan for you to get that new phone while safely disposing of that old one. Thank you, Robert, for that update. Let's have a look at what we have on the foreign scene. And we're starting off with matters Israel and Hamas. Hamas has returned the bodies of 4 more deceased hostages. The Israel Defense Forces said the Red Cross retrieved the remains in coffins and handed them over to the Israeli military late on Tuesday. The transfer came after Israel warned it would restrict aid into Gaza until Hamas returned the bodies of all 28 deceased hostages. The Palestinian armed group handed back 20 living and 4 deceased hostages on Monday. The remains of 45 deceased Palestinians who had been held in Israel were returned to Gaza on Tuesday, the Red Cross said in a statement. U.S. President Donald Trump's ceasefire plan, which both Israel and Hamas accepted, envisaged The handover of all 48 hostages would be completed by noon on Monday. While all living hostages were returned, pressure is growing on Hamas and the Israeli government over the remains of 20 hostages, which Hamas has not yet repatriated. Palestinians are increasingly worried that a delay in Hamas returning the bodies could bring uncertainty to the future of the ceasefire. Now, tensions between Afghanistan and Pakistan have flared in recent days with the exchange of deadly gunfire between the neighbors that has stoked fears of wider conflict. The fighting followed strikes in the Afghan capital, Kabul, and the border province of Paktika last Thursday that the Taliban blamed on Pakistan, though Islamabad has not officially acknowledged the attacks. The latest flare-up coincided with a historic trip by Taliban Foreign Minister Amir Khan Mutaki to Pakistan's rival India, triggering concern in Islamabad. Experts warn these latest attacks could signal a new era of instability for the neighbors who have maintained steady and strategic relations for years despite frequent skirmishes along their disputed border. Now coming to Africa, elections in Africa are never less of drama. Leader of Cameroon's opposition Front for National Salvation, Issa Chiroma Bakari, declared himself the winner of the October 12th presidential election, challenging the 43-year rule of President Paul Biya. The official results are expected to be announced by the Constitutional Council by October 26th at the latest. Quote unquote, these results deeply moved me. They showed that this victory goes beyond my person. It is a clear sanction of the regime in place and a plebiscite in favor of immediate change because the victory is overwhelming, Bakari said. In the coming days, I will share with you a detailed report of your vote by region as compiled from the results publicly posted in accordance with Article 113 of the Electoral Code in polling stations across the country and the diaspora, he added. Bakari urged President Biya to concede defeat, calling for a peaceful transfer of power and declaring the election a historic moment for democratic change in Cameroon. Quote unquote, we call on the regime in place to show greatness and to honor the path of the ballot box with one expected gesture. That phone call of congratulations will demonstrate the political maturity of our nation and the future strength of our democracy, he said. Very interesting story that one is.
Won't you keep waiting for that call?
Perhaps so. Let's wait and see, at least not later than 26th October. Our eyes are on the ground to see what transpires there.
A long wait. Like some ladies have had that long wait for Mr. Right, and he doesn't turn up. I hope he doesn't have that long wait for that call of congratulating him. Anyways, what headlines do we have in the dailies? Well, I have the New Vision with me, and good news. Here's finance releases 18.4 trillion shillings. Now here, salaries, roads, PDM, elections take lion's share. So these are the sectors that have taken good. Salaries, the roads, parish development, model, and the elections have taken big of this release. Then 2026 elections, what candidates pledge to do. I was listening to some of these pledges. I don't know if they can be real. Someone talks about 3 meals for students in all schools, in all government schools, milk, eggs, and I'm like, wow, even in the United States, some of these promises cannot be fulfilled. What about in Uganda? Now we go to President Museveni campaigns in Marache and Koboko here. There's a pictorial there of a sea of people. Now we have Miss Global pageants for those that are interested there. Best teachers return from Ireland with new insight. Then new digital system to monitor judge's performance. I think this is very good. If there is a system to monitor, sometimes there is a case in court and they will tell you, now if there is a system to monitor their performance, yes, we know they have a lot of work they do, case backlog, but sometimes we think they're excuses that are not valid enough. Now, if there is a system, we hope it does justice to the people seeking justice. Now, take us to Kenya or Tanzania.
Let's go to Kenya, and the headline there is Killer Linked to State House. And that is a story in the Daily Monitor. Slain GSC officer Ramadan Matanka was the former son of a former State House employee. He first worked at the state residence after completing high school in 2019 during a cleanup campaign where he met and befriended Kituka Kimui. Later, he joined the elite squad guarding the premises where his life was cut short, and tragic end to an unusual friendship forged at president's residence. That is the headline that you should look forward to in the Daily Nation. Most popular senior school pathway, also another story to look into. And that brings us to the end of what we have in the dailies. But before we close it, let's have a look at what the campaign trail looks like today, the 15th of October 2023. And today, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, or candidate Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, won't campaign. And Kasibante Robert will be in Ruchiga, Rwanda today, the 15th of October, as he represents NPP. Mugisha Muntu, who will be representing ANT, will be in Kalungu and Butambala, and Chagulanyi Sentamu Robert will be in Namisindwa and Manafwa as he represents NUP. And the FDC flag bearer candidate Nathan Nandela Mafabi will be in Tororo and Butaleja, and CMP flag bearer Munyagwa Mubarak won't campaign today. Now, Bulira Frank of the RPP will be in Abim, and Mabirizi Joseph of the CP will be in Bukomansimbi and Sembabule. And indeed, who will be the next president of Uganda? Now, with that update as per the campaign trail, you know where your candidate will be and where you have to listen to their manifesto from. For now, let's have a short break, and when we get back, we'll be looking at teenage marriages in Uganda, especially in Uganda, the crisis that is. 0709 602 592 is the WhatsApp number that you should save and be a part of the conversation. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda. Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
It's mid-October, and that is a point that's worth remembering. A few things that the month of October brings with us, and the things such as Mental Health Awareness Month, which is celebrated every 10th of October, and 14th October brings us World International E-Waste Day. That means that October is a month for you to commemorate e-waste, not exactly to celebrate e-waste, but for you to be aware of e-waste. Now, if you're wondering what e-waste is discarded electrical and electronic devices that are no longer used or are broken. Now, the kicker is that you still have these devices, that old TV analog set that you still keep in your store, that Nokia 6111 slide that you last used probably in 2008, that old Technophone that you cannot resell anymore, but for some reason it still helps you here and there maybe, so you think, but you haven't used it in a long time. That old keyboard from an old computer that you still feel that maybe perhaps, or that old phone charger that you still think is in use, and you think that one day, one time perhaps, you will maybe find use for it or pass it down to your child. That is some of the waste, e-waste that you still keep. But it's an awareness month because you are made aware of the fact that e-waste is harmful to your health, but to the environment as well. Lots of things to learn about e-waste. Just thought I should share that. But good morning, Uganda. Thank you so much for joining UBC TV and watching us. We come to you live from Nile Avenue. My name is Julie F. Nantaba, and I am with Robert Chirabo Nyonyitono. Now, Robert and I have been laughing at a story. Uganda is such an interesting country. We've been laughing at a story of a man who reported another man from whom he stole coffee beans. Now, I'll allow Robert to tell us the detail of that story. Robert, good morning.
I love the morning to you, Julie, and of course the Ugandans that are waking up with us. Thank you so much for making up your choice this morning. Now, first, before I even go to that human interest story full of humor and laughter, a number of questions. Yesterday, some members of the National Unity Platform that had shown interest for member to represent their constituencies but never got the flag were smiling while others were weeping.
Okay.
Now, what happened is that the National Unity Platform, remember when they had their voting and that process, then later they issued out their cards to those they chose or they vetted to represent them in this election, their flag bearers. Now, the losers or those that did not qualify in the voting petitioned. There was a committee. Now, 9 people who had gotten the NUP flag. Yesterday, the committee came out and said, no, this wasn't. There are certain things that didn't go very well. You're not the best of the best that we need. Therefore, kadi neba jiwako nejiwewa abalala.
Wow.
Now, 9. And of course, the process is still going on. We don't know by the completion how many will have gotten the ticket that were crying for having lost it. You know, it was very painful.
Right.
There are people who invested so much, were sure they would get the NUP flag and never gotten it. Now, where there is hope for those who petitioned, but also there are those who completely said, I'm not going to petition. I'll come as an independent. People power belongs to the people. I believe they will vote me against he who has taken the flag. But those that petitioned, some have reasons to smile. Now, going to the story, I know many Ugandans know that a number of people depend on coffee for their livelihood. Now, when you talk about Wokoma Simbi,
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
It's mid-October, and that is a point that's worth remembering. A few things that the month of October brings with us, and things such as Mental Health Awareness Month, which is celebrated every 10th of October, and 14th October brings us World International E-Waste Day. That means that October is a month for you to commemorate e-waste, not exactly to celebrate e-waste, but for you to be aware of e-waste. Now, if you're wondering what e-waste is discarded electrical and electronic devices that are no longer used or are broken. Now, the kicker is that you still have these devices, that old TV analog set that you still keep in your store, that Nokia 6111 slide that you last used probably in 2008, that old Technophone that you cannot resell anymore, but for some reason it still helps you here and there, maybe, so you think, but you haven't used it in a long, long time. That old keyboard from an old computer that you still feel that maybe perhaps, or that old phone charger that you still think is in use, and you think that one day, one time perhaps, you will maybe find use for it or pass it down to your child. That is some of the waste, e-waste, that you still keep. But it's an awareness month because you are made aware of the fact that e-waste is harmful to your health, but to the environment as well. Lots of things to learn about e-waste. Just thought I should share that. But good morning, Uganda. Thank you so much for joining UBC TV and watching us. We come to you live from Nile Avenue. My name is Julie F. Nantaba, and I am with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono. Now, Robert and I have been laughing at a story. Uganda is such an interesting country. We've been laughing at a story of a man who reported another man from whom he stole coffee beans. Now, I'll allow Robert to tell us the detail of that story. Robert, good morning.
I love the morning to you, Julie, and of course the Ugandans that are waking up with us. Thank you so much for making us your choice this morning. Now, first, before I even go to that human interest story full of humor and laughter as a number of questions. Yesterday, some members of the National Unity Platform that had shown interest for member to represent their constituencies but never got the flag were smiling while others were weeping.
Okay.
Now, what happened is that the National Unity Platform, remember when they had their voting and that process, then later they issued out their cards to those. These days, some girls look much older than they are. You get it?
Yes.
You have tribes here where a girl of, say, 11 years or 12 years may look 20.
By primary, most times some have started developing breasts.
Yes. So,
on their chests.
As long as that girl is below 18 years, that is a child. 2, why, even before I go to what you asked me, why are we against child marriages? Fellow men watching out there, this person's body may look ready, but internally it is not ready. That's why we've seen many of these young girls get complications during delivery and they die because the body is not ready. For the cattle keepers, we know this you know this very well, that a cow may go and hit for the first time, but you don't serve it a male, or you don't bring an inseminator to do the insemination. We skip 1 or 2 before serving your cow and other animals for the healthy side of it. Now, what about the human being? So it is a very great danger when these young girls are married off psychologically, emotionally, physically. They are not ready. Now, why is it common in this day and age? 1, ignorance. Julie, I want to tell you there are so many people out there who are still ignorant of the law and why the law exists against this. One time I was speaking to someone from a faith, forgive me, he was a Muslim, but these radicals, because not all have this perception. And he told me, who are you, son of man, to go against God's will? If this girl has begun her menstrual cycle, meaning she's ready to conceive, Who are you, Gwani, to say that this girl is still young? Yet, the God of creation, at that age, has made her begin her menstrual cycle. Said there are some even who go up to 20 without. But if God has... So, I later discovered that this person was just ignorant. It took me time to explain to this person. 2, some religions, I also discovered that this brother had a problem of not understanding what his faith says or why certain things used to be done that way and now they are no longer being done that way.
Right.
Because there's some faith or some, I don't want to use the word, or religion that for them, marrying girls before the age of 18, they see it as okay. They even tell you how it's a blessing and how is this. Now, ignorance and religion put aside, we
By the
bring
way,
in...
allow me interject a little, that this ignorance with religion even applies for the educated, the elites. The one you would expect to be aware. You would be shocked that they follow these trends, religious trends of marrying girls off that are below the age of 18.
Let the girl go before she even gets spoiled. Now, poverty. If you look at most of the families where these girls have been married off, are girls coming from very poor families. If you look at regions, a region that is dominated with poverty ranks top when it comes to early marriage. There was a time in Karamoja when there was a lot of famine and people lacked what to eat. Right. And fathers were selling their daughters in the market. You know, you bring me cows, I come with my daughter, like we've gone to the market, the girl is taken. When you look at most of these families, the girl is not going to school, you know. She has stopped going to school because they don't have school fees, they don't have what it takes to keep this girl in school. Now the family looks at this girl and they are fearing that anytime some young boy or rumpen around the village may impregnate her. So they better marry her off and know at least in so and so now got married to this young man. We have our goat, we have our cow, sometimes just even sugar and a few things there, and the young girl is married off. But also culture. Julie, when I gave birth to my daughter, one of the ladies that came to visit, even a relative, said, Ozade sukari. You know?
Right, yes.
I try to refrain myself from being violent.
But they are already looking at this girl as property.
Because you can't look at my daughter, tell me that the sukari. No. 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 The things we shouldn't tolerate in this day and age.
Right.
And I thought that was the first. Another one came in. Which child? Sukari. Said you know, I recognized that even you hear people on phone, which child? Now that has a connection to culture, that when you give birth to a girl child,
all they see is sugar, cows.
Sugar, cows, what? Proper, something to trade with,
yes.
You know? So now, because our cultures, and I don't want to touch a very sensitive area, which is dowry, because some say it is an appreciation.
Right.
But I've gone to homes and families where I've seen that this thing is not appreciation. However, I want to commend so many men out there today who have discovered. I'm very conversant with the Uganda region. I've seen fathers, you know what they call mutwaro? Mutwaro gwa tata.
Right, yeah.
I've seen fathers who ask so much. This is a young man coming to take your daughter. But I've seen fathers who simply say, I'm not trading my daughter for anything. I'm not asking for anything.
Yes, that's true.
Or simply say, bring me a Bible. I've seen fathers who say, I remember my sister said, no, there is nothing you're going to give me that is of value equal to my daughter. But I've also seen fathers who attach even value says, I educated my daughter went to good schools, my daughter this. Now, 7, 10 cows. Now, if we still have that mentality, now, for people even have and have educated their daughters, what about this poor village man who is not even having a job and now has 5 daughters? God blessed him with 6 daughters. So culture, religion, ignorance, and poverty remain the 4 major causes of this.
Indeed, indeed. And if you talk about culture, I'm proud. Let me just tell my father thank you, because he also never asked for that. He said there's no value attached to my daughter. It was up to my husband to think of how to appreciate him, to say thank you to him.
I was
but not
shocked,
when he never
Julie.
asked for anything.
A young man was asked 5 million in cash. A solar panel. No, the Mutwara was 5 million in cash.
Wow.
And the daughter, because I was part of that bargaining, and the father said, no, look at what you're taking. I've educated my daughter. Then this, and they also have a number of cows. And I'm like, now, if you, who is educated and has some money, what about this young man? Will he wait for his daughters to make 18 years?
Now,
that poor guy in the village.
I know, right? Let's have a look at some of the comments coming through. And the first one is Netherlands, Brooklyn, Leo Brazen, who says pushing these young girls to marriage is wrong and not upright. People should stop it. This poverty shouldn't push it to this extent. There must be a rule to control this. And Omgaga Saurembo, you say Kwendi Ntumbude. What is your opinion, Omgaga Saurembo? What do you have to say? Thank you so much for being on the show. Good morning, Julie and Robert. This is Isaac Wanzala from West Nile. The blame goes to some parents who see their girls as a source of wealth and not providing their young girls with necessities and parental guidance. Good morning, Julie. There is totally lack of sensitization and awareness, plus their weak education, hospitals, and church programs. And I think NGOs have to work harder to help out with most of these deep areas. This is Kenneth Bwayo from Chisubi. God bless you. And Kimaleni Michael, watching you live from Bududa. I am a teacher by profession, and in physics, each planet has its only value of gravitational force, but they are all forces. Meaning that even if a girl of 12 years looking like one of 20 years, but she remains a young girl, so let us give them their liberty as young children. But again, some parents also. Well, this conversation indeed is wide, but there's one thing I think I'd love for us to look into as we begin to wrap it up. Of course, the laws exist, yes. The causes we've seen. But there's one thing I think we never look at is how boys are affected by child marriages. Do you think boys, even if they're not the direct victims, are still affected by child marriages in Uganda?
Young boys marrying?
No, just boys who are in the experience or the vicinity of these events. They are not the ones being married off, obviously. But it's young girls who are their neighbors, who are their sisters, who are in their area of location, their family member whom they are seeing being married off at a young age. It's their young sister. You know, this boy is still a child as well, but they see their young sister, who's still a child as well, being married off. They see a neighbor, of a daughter of a neighbor being married off. So to that child, who is a boy, how do you think they are affected?
Well, I must say they're affected least, but I'll bring out a few elements. One, if this young child has been in this vicinity, then she's married off, of course, these young boys will be concerned, where is so-and-so, that she went for marriage. And there's that, if there's that emotional connection. But also, if this is a sister leaving a home, sometimes if the sister is going to a wealthy family, these boys will benefit. You're going to visit your sister who got married to a rich man, you know? So for them, they are on the benefiting side. But also, you know, we started with the law and also morals. Where someone who stole and was clobbered. Now, I want to thank all the young men there, the young boys, who have taught a good lesson to old men who go in for these young girls. You know, in rural areas, men have a tendency, most of those that are wealthy, every after 10 years or something they attain, they get a woman suiting them.
Right.
Now, I've had incidents where a father of a family goes and gets a young girl below 18 years. He has sons that are of the same age. Now marries this young girl and brings the young girl in the family. And I want to thank these young men for teaching their fathers lessons. Guess what happens? The sons welcome their age mate.
Right.
And either they make brothers from their mother to be, or the father discovers that actually he brought a woman for the sons, not him. Because nonsensical getting to that level. If I've clocked, for heaven's sake, if I've clocked 60 years, 70 years, I have a son who is 20, 18 years, why do I go and pick a girl of 17 years that because she'll be able to look after me till I die as she's aging? Now, if my son impregnates or begins an affair with the so-called mother, thank you, young men who have done this, because I think others learn lessons. It is morally not right, but some people, we need to teach them with grave pain that they will understand. I condemn in the strongest terms early or child marriages. And also, if I one day become president of this country, maybe 30 or 40 years to come.
Right.
Because I don't have age limit, I can become even at the age of something. I just don't have to lose my dream. The first thing I'll do is ban bride price and dowry.
Right.
Making women commodity.
A very interesting perspective, although two wrongs don't make it right. But I will say that if you ask me how boys are affected, I mean, it's not even slight. They are not affected in the slightest manner. They are affected in the greatest manner because they are the fathers of tomorrow. When a boy says these things at such a tender age, he's going to become a man. He's going to become a father. He's going to become a husband. And it's the very exact way he might treat his family. And on and on and on the cycle continues. He might not be affected directly, but he is affected because he is the foundation of a country. He is the foundation, he is the protector, but he doesn't know how to protect
What
it.
do you make of mothers who say, I also need your comment now that you've given the boys who say, your father married me at 15.
Yeah, it's all wrong. Those are the cycles I'm talking about.
Now for you people, me,
those are the cycles.
17.
Those are the cycles I'm talking about, that if a boy is not empowered, the whole country is gone at the end of the day, because he doesn't know how to protect, yet he must protect. That's it's in his nature. He must preserve, but he doesn't know how to preserve. So early childhood marriages also affect boys greatly, and they should be catered to in one way or the other. Now, to close this off, some of the comments coming through. Samuel Buyeka from Bududa says child marriage is due to lack of parental care in many communities. Exposure to wrong doctrines, uncle and aunt mentality has contributed a lot. Thank you so much for being on the show. And that marks it for this conversation, but Good Morning Uganda does continue. Up next is GMU Tourism Express. We do have business, we do have the agenda, we do have sports. So a lot still awaits you. And of course, we do have Good Morning Uganda Extra, a whole pack of content for you. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Taxation is a bit complicated, and the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and to comply with is through engagement. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda? Who has paid the excise duty on this water is not the supermarket which has sold you this bottle at 1,000. It's not the business. It is the man who is going to drink this water. We strongly believe that it will only be through such constructive engagement that we'll be able to broaden our tax base and build our country together.
Buza Commissioner. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda. Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
The temperatures are really crazy. Like you can see, it's a hot morning, and we are still at Namugongo Shrine, and behind us is just the lake. It's called Uganda Matters Lake. I didn't know there's one of a kind like that, but also an appreciation to the Catholics. I think they've taken part in planting as many trees as they can, and when you get to this area, there's at least much shade regarding climate change. Now, bringing you back to what we've been discussing. The other day we were talking about what was inside the shrine. You got to see what was in there, you got to learn one or two things, and when we also got outside, you still got to see what was there. And we promised to bring you to the lake, which is where we are standing right now. We are yet to know why is this lake in Namugongo Shrine, how did it come to existence, is it a man-made lake or not? Let's hear that from Ben. We are with him again, and he's going to be introducing to us himself and tell us more about this place. We are happy to have you again, Mr. Ben.
Thank you so much. Once again, my name is Ben Tenywa, in charge of visitors and pilgrims at the Uganda Matters Catholic Shrine in Namugongo. Now, where we are, this is a man-made lake. We call it the Uganda Matters Lake. Before, it was a swamp. The executioners, after executing people up there, they were sloping down here in the swamp to wash, to bathe, to cleanse themselves, refresh themselves. Tell the ghost, not responsible for your death. It's the king who told us to kill you, don't haunt us. It's the goddess of Uganda you minimized and called them demons, responsible for your death, not us. So now, when they were designing the place, a priest was here in charge. The late Monsignor Lawrence Mbwega decided to dig the lake. This is a smaller lake which was dug basically for mass to be celebrated here whenever there is need for any open air mass, especially on Martyrs Day. Martyrs Day every year is a public holiday in Uganda. The bishops and the priests, they go in the basilica, in the shrine, they put on their vestments, they make a procession and go in the middle. In the middle of this lake, that pavilion is for bishops and a few priests. The excess of the priests, they sit behind, the pavilion behind. The pavilion on this side is for president and all of government officials, all of VIPs in that pavilion. The pavilion on that side is for the sisters, brothers and the sisters. Then the rest of the pilgrims all over, they put
Okay.
speakers on the trees so that people can hear them wherever they are. 3 popes have been here. The first pope to come in Africa celebrated the Mass here. Pope Paul VI was here on 2nd of August, 1969. John Paul II was here on 7th of Feb, 1993. And Pope Francis was here on 28th of November, 2015. Christians believe this is holy water. When they come here, some wash in their face, some touch, some carry at home. It depends on your faith. So here is a Pope sacristy. Pope Francis dressed from here, and he went for Mass there.
Okay.
So, thank you so much.
Meaning
Thank
when
you.
he came, this was already put in place.
When Pope Francis was coming, they demolished whatever was here.
Okay.
There are some sheds which were here, but when Pope Francis was coming, they demolished all those sheds and they put up these new ones. Yeah, each pavilion has got toilets and rooms
Okay.
underneath. Yes.
And maybe to shed a light on Uganda matters, usually when it's happening, take us through what happens what happens in place.
Matters Day, 3rd of June, is a public holiday in Uganda. That's the day we remember the Uganda Matters. Every day they choose a diocese to lead us in the celebrations. Now this year, 2025, we have Lugazi diocese. On that, before that, we start with the prayers, a novena for 90 days. A novena is a prayer for 90 days with a particular intention. So we start with the prayers for 90 days. People walk on foot. People come walking from northern Uganda, western Uganda, eastern Uganda. People come walking from Nairobi on foot. Not because they don't have money, but to make a pilgrimage. So by 1st of June, the place is already full. Now on the very day, Mass, the procession starts from the basilica. The bishops and the priests, they go inside the basilica, they put on their vestments, they make a procession, and they go in the middle there. So the Mass starts at 10 a.m. and it ends at midday. Then speeches by 2, everything is done. Yes.
And when it is done, everyone goes back.
Everyone goes back. Those who come walking, they use buses, they use their vehicles, and they go back.
That's interesting. I didn't know that people are coming all the way even from Nairobi, walking.
Walking.
I thought it is Ugandans that are walking all the way, and probably the rest are catching flights and starting their walks from Entebbe. It's an interesting one for the faith. What are some of the things that these people be seeking for, especially to take that route of faith, to walk all the way? Now let's talk about people, for example, from Kisoro. From Kisoro, you walk probably the other corner in Karamoja till here. What is it that they are yearning for that will make them take that step to get to this place?
People who walk, for them they're strengthening their faith. They say if the Uganda martyrs were burnt, if the Uganda martyrs were killed, they were like us. They were black like us, they were men, they were young, they were old. So they say, since the Uganda martyrs were burnt, and nobody is willing to burn us, nobody is going to burn us, let us go an extra mile of walking. So they make a pilgrimage, they make that holy journey. And in the process, they believe they are communicating with God, they are talking to God, they are coming nearer to God. And in the process of doing that, some are asking for forgiveness of their sins. Some are asking for the particular intention is they intend to receive from God. So it is a holy journey. It's a prayerful journey. People come praying. People come telling God, seeking for forgiveness. People come. Some come with particular intentions. This year in this pilgrimage, I'm asking for this. So doing that, let me walk. I'm asking for forgiveness of my sins. Doing that, let me walk. To achieve that, let me walk. So that's why you see people walking. Walking to be more nearer, to strengthen their faith, to be more nearer to God. Yeah, in this event, pilgrimage.
This is a place we've got to learn about for so many years. How have you been able to keep it this clean and intact in this area?
Yes. You see, this is a place of visitors. This is a place of pilgrims.
Yes.
So we have workers, workers who are always here to clean up this place. So on daily basis, visitors come. So for that matter, we have workers who clean the place. We have enough workers who clean this place to make it clean the way you have found it. Yes.
Okay, and when we look at the tourists that keep coming in, exception of the big day, the Uganda Matters Day, where the biggest numbers, I don't know, isn't it the day when the biggest numbers are? Yes, so let's look at now the other days. How often do you get in the visitors, and usually what are they looking for, the tourists?
Visitors come on daily basis. Every day we get visitors, we get pilgrims, we get tourists. There are those who come to pray. There are those who come to tour. Those who come to tour, they have heard of this place. They want to know, is it true that people were burnt because of their faith? So that alone attracts tourists. That alone attracts pilgrims. So on daily basis, we get people who come to tour, people who come for pilgrimage. Because what happened here is not common, that people were burnt. In Uganda, it is only here. In Africa, it's only here. Maybe, I don't know, in the whole world. But what happened here is unique, that people were burnt. So people come to see this holy place. And so many people want to associate themselves with the holy place. And this year, I must visit the holy place. And one of the holy places in Uganda is Namugongo. Yes.
And maybe to give us your closing remarks or something that you would like us to know about the Namugongo Shrine.
Namugongo Shrine is a shrine dedicated to the saints, the Uganda Martyrs. Now I call upon you people of God to come and receive blessings, the Uganda Martyrs. If you have you need a miracle, you need something to strengthen your faith, this is the place. You emulate the Uganda Martyrs to attain sainthood, because the Uganda Martyrs are now saints. We can become saints. The only way is to learn about the Uganda Martyrs, to meditate about the Uganda Martyrs, to think about the Uganda Martyrs, and visit the place like this one where the Uganda Martyrs were killed.
Thank you for sticking with us on the GMU Tourism Express. And this morning again, it's been the Religious Tourism Week dedicated to Catholics.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Taxation is a bit complicated, and the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and to comply with is through engagement. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda? Who has paid the excise duty on this water is not the supermarket which has sold you this bottle at 1,000. It's not the business, it is the man who is going to drink this water. We strongly believe that it will only be through such constructive engagement that we'll be able to broaden our tax base and build our country together.
Buza Kamiso now. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them.
Plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Good morning, Uganda. Time for JMU Business. Welcome back from JMU Tourism Express. And with business, we start off with Britannia Allied Industries that has signed a new collective bargaining agreement with the HTS union in Kampala to improve workers' welfare and strengthen industrial harmony. Now, the agreement was signed after months of negotiation and covers salaries, medical care, and workplace safety. It follows extensive consultations between both sides to ensure fair treatment and better working conditions for employees. That is good news for employees at Britannia. But looking at matters from manufacturers, Uganda Pharmaceutical Manufacturers Association has challenged importers and distributors of medical supplies to support the government on the government initiative of promoting local manufacturing of pharmaceutical products. Importers and distributors of medical supplies under their umbrella body, the Uganda Pharmaceuticals and Promoters Association, had earlier raised concern over the high taxes imposed on some medical supplies. In 2017, government imposed a 12% inspection fee on 37 pharmaceutical supplies that are locally manufactured in Uganda as a way to discourage the importation of pharmaceuticals. The fee has been increased from 12% to 17% to promote local manufacturing of pharmaceutical supplies. But importers and distributors of medical supplies under their umbrella body, Uganda Pharmaceuticals and Promoters Association, say the heavy taxation on imported products will increase the cost of health care. Uganda Pharmaceutical Manufacturers Association say they have the capacity to satisfy the demand for the 37 pharmaceutical products manufactured in Uganda. Now, the Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Frank Tumwebaze, wants government to pass a law that criminalizes individuals who sell fake breeds on the market. He was launching the National Dairy Center of Excellence at the Mbara Zonal Agricultural Research Organization offices. Minister Tumwebaze has assured the public that the anti-tick vaccine is ready and in its final stages of its development. The Director General of the National Agricultural Research Organization, Yona Baguma, called for a vibrant systematic breeding program for animals and an intensive and pasture-based system for the breeds. Catherine Helen Kamwine, the RCC of Mbara City, appealed to the government to provide farmers with the equipment to increase productivity. Well, now let's have a look at the forex rates as of the 14th day of October 2025, and the US dollar opened at 3,424.82 and was selling at 3,434.82. By midday, it was at an increase of 3,433.50 and selling at 3,444 3,443.50. It closed in at an increased value of 3,444.68 and selling at 3,454.68. The British pound was buying at 4,595.54 and selling at 4,608.88. The euro was buying at 3,990.66 and selling at 4,002.24. The Kenyan shilling was buying at 26.66, a slight increase there, and selling at 26.73. And the Tanzanian shilling increased to 1.40, buying and selling at 1.40. And the South African rand was buying at 197.89 and selling at 198.46. Well, that's it for GNU Business. Up next is the agenda, and we're looking at how to market Uganda during this election period. 0709 602 592 is the number that you should use to engage and be a part of this conversation. What does that mean to you? What crosses your mind? What comes to your mind when you hear selling or marketing Uganda during the election season? 0709 602 592. Good morning.
Pick of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo,
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Taxation is a bit complicated, and the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and to comply with is through engagement. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda? Who has paid the excise duty on this water is not the supermarket which has sold you this bottle at 1,000. It's not the business. It is the man who is going to drink this water. We strongly believe that it will only be through such constructive engagement that we'll be able to broaden our tax base and build our country together.
Buza Commissioner. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hdo.com or call 0800 335555.
Juko.
Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Every Wednesday, live in our studios in the heart of Kampala.
We have to change the political culture in this country, really. Who has bewitched Ugandans?
I want to assure you, as government, we shall do whatever it takes to ensure that Ugandans are safe.
We have conversations that have analysis, explanation.
This law society, this union of theirs, because they want a job everywhere, they want to be this, they want to be that, they want... No. We know it's a union.
You cannot be making a road, bitumen grade 1, in Congo for 5 billion.
But not every truth is fact, and not every fact is truth.
The argument that the General Court Martial is responsible for peace and stability is without basis, either in law or in fact.
We have been told how Napoleon was a great orator. Now, Napoleon cannot help me get food. They told me combine harvesters in Saskatchewan. I don't know where Saskatchewan is. This is a geographer we taught. Instead of teaching me how to preserve Mabera forest, they're teaching me about Rhineland. This is a problem we got. We cannot run away from it.
Right now, you hear very disgusting stories of members of parliament. Instead of discussing the details of loans, they ask for their cuts.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Every waking day is a reminder just how beautiful this, our land, truly is. The kind of beauty that you can only find here. In the lush green all around us and the wondrous sights within. It's what you feel in the gentle caress of tropical wind from the mountaintops. And the glow in your heart from a warm neighborly invite. It's in the distinct aroma of our cooking to the taste of food that takes you on a journey. In the sound of homecoming and the sound of Mother Earth. In the magnificence we find on our travels and the exciting moments we experience. Ours is the kind of beauty that comes in all things big and small. All we have to do is awaken our senses and truly enjoy what's uniquely ours. Explore Uganda, the pearl of Africa.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby dondolo.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Taxation is a bit complicated, and the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and to comply with is through engagement. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda? Who has paid the excise duty on this water is not the supermarket which has sold you this bottle at 1,000. It's not the business. It is the man who is going to drink this water. We strongly believe that it will only be through such constructive engagement that we'll be able to broaden our tax base and build our country together.
Buza Kamiso now. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
Every Wednesday, live in our studios in the heart of Kampala.
We have to change the political culture in this country, really. Who has bewitched Ugandans?
I want to assure you, as government, we shall do whatever it takes to ensure that Ugandans are safe.
We have conversations that have analysis, explanation.
This law society, this union of theirs, because they want a job everywhere, they want to be this, they want to be that, they want... No. We know it's a union.
You cannot be making a road, bitumen grade 1, in Congo for 5 billion.
But not every truth is fact, and not every fact is truth.
The argument that the General Court Martial is responsible for peace and stability is without basis, either in law or in fact.
We have been told how Napoleon was a great orator. Now, Napoleon cannot help me get food. They told me combine harvesters in Saskatchewan. I don't know where Saskatchewan is. This is a geographer we're taught. Instead of teaching me how to preserve Mabera forest, they're teaching me about Rhineland. This is a problem we got. We cannot run away from it.
Right now, you hear very disgusting stories of members of parliament. Instead of discussing the details of loans, they ask for their cuts.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV. This is time for the agenda, and we are talking about marketing Uganda, especially during this elections period. Now, for many, it sounds like a contradiction or a paradox when we talk about elections and marketing Uganda. But, well, we're making face of it and putting ideal to the statement with Eli Twineo Kamgisha, who is an he is an economist and author, and he is currently serving at Uganda's New Exports and Free Zones Agency. And he had to publish something in the papers recently that indeed attracted this particular conversation. Now, for you to be a part of the conversation, 0709602592 is the WhatsApp number that you should engage and share your opinion or ask your question. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining the show. Good morning, Eli.
Good morning. What should I say, F or Nantaba or Julie?
Which one? Which is easiest
Julie.
for you?
I say Julie.
Thank you very much. That's totally fine.
And good morning, all the viewers and those who could be listening but not viewing. I'm glad to be here. UBC TV is my TV, and whenever I'm around, I want to be with you.
Right.
Yes.
A pleasure having you.
Thank you.
So let's start off with the piece that you authored in the New Vision recently, How to Market Uganda During Elections.
Yes.
What inspired you to write this?
You see, Julie, I move a lot in town, move a lot outside of Kampala. Because of my work of trying to promote exports,
right?
Because of my work of trying to encourage people to produce for the market. So wherever I have gone, people are talking about campaigns. Only, almost entirely only. Campaigns. You have, I think, more than several candidates campaigning for presidency, several candidates campaigning for member of parliament,
right?
Several candidates campaigning for councillors, several candidates campaigning for mayors, several human beings campaigning for different positions. And I know that this jury will take literally half a year. So I said, are we, the whole of Uganda, only concentrating on campaigns? The bread and butter issues, the food on the table, Zakameza, money for the table that you leave home. Is it going to be campaign only? So, and I thought, this is important. We cannot lose half a year, Julie, doing campaigns only. And you see, you have division of labor. There are people who are doing campaigns. Those are the politicians. They are doing campaigns. But then there are people in government and private sector who are in offices, who are called experts, who are the technical people in ministries, in departments, in agencies, but also in companies running businesses. Should these people focus on campaign? Don't they have their work cut out? As the politicians are doing their campaigns, these guys have work to do. The economy will not stop, should not stop, cannot stop, because we are in campaigns. And no one has said we stop. But my observation, because I talk also with government employees, when I say government employees, you know what I mean? I mean civil servants and public servants. Many people don't distinguish between civil servants and public servants.
Right. What's the difference there?
Thank you very much. And in fact, some people, even who are public servants, think of themselves as civil servants. At least the civil servants know clearly very well they are civil servants. But some public servants think they are civil servants. So civil servants are working in ministries. All workers in ministries who are permanent and pensionable currently are all civil servants. They start their job in the civil servant in ministries until when they retire. Sometimes people retire early by getting early retirement, but otherwise they go up to 60 currently and then retire. Now, public servants, in my view, are called contractors or in government.
Okay.
Now, if somebody is working in an agency, like I'm working in an agency now, I am not a civil servant. I am a public servant. I am on contract. I am bound by a contract. I am not bound by the rules of the civil servants. And most importantly, when my contract expires and it is not renewed, then I go somewhere else. I'm like a plumber. If a plumber comes to work in your house and water has gone off, systems have gone off, or an electrician, he's a contractor. So public servants are contractors. And actually government is very clear. You cannot jump from being a public servant, from like an agency where you're a contractor and you're a contract, and you join civil service. Even when you qualify, there are stages you go through. So when I say government staff, both civil servants and contractors, I make that difference. People never make that difference. But also other public servants are politicians, members of parliament, other DCs, all these others who are employed in that format, but they are not mainstream civil servants. So when there are campaigns, these guys are in offices.
Yes.
Unless they are public servants and contractors and contracted to work as elections, whatever, because even the electoral commission, they are working in office. They have no, except their role now is that's the process of elections. The rest of the civil service and the public service, those ministries and agencies are not supposed to stop. In fact, this is the time for them to market Uganda. This is the time to promote Uganda. And you see, while the politicians are there campaigning and they are good at it, the technical people in ministries and agencies should be good at what they are doing.
Right.
You cannot lose half a year. This is half a year. And when you go up to the time of swearing in the new government, is way longer than half a year. Do you want us to lose a year because they are campaigns? No. In fact, other countries also never do that. So then I sat down and said, isn't this the time for those people who are experts in civil and public service, and those who claim they're experts, anyway, if while they are not, this is the time for them to market Uganda. Because Uganda has come a long way, Julie, from where the economy in 1986 had about 3.9 billion of GDP. 3.9 billion US dollars.
Right.
This is a little money. To now, by June 2025, where we are above 66 billion US dollars. And the government has set itself a target of over 500 billion. Because you see, in economics, the way we count, when you say 500 billion, you again, even after billion, you say 0.00. So what it means, you can always say over 500 billion US dollars, billion US dollars. And this will be achieved in the government's 10-fold strategy. And therefore should begin to be achieved between now, 10 years and 15 years. And this economy will be advanced by then. Do you want to lose, Judy, more than half a year seated instead of marketing Uganda? During this period, we can market Uganda as an attractive place to visit for tourists. Is it not exciting that tourists are coming to see how we do campaigns, as they are moving to visit Gwindi mountain gorillas, as they are going to see the source of the Nile, as they are coming for cultural tourism and are seeing the Namugongo shrine, and others are visiting Gaddafi Mosque, and others are seeing Lake Victoria, and others are seeing the River Nile, and all others, as others are campaigning. Is it not the time to encourage people even to invest, even in the tourism industries, but also in other sectors? It is not the time to tell the people.
Allow me interject there kindly. So on that note, how do you see or perceive the relationship between elections and economic development? How do you think the two relate for Uganda?
No, and thank you very much for this question. Because again, during campaigns, there is a perception that by people, and I'm telling you, by people in government especially, and by people in even in the private sector, to say, no, I wait and invest after elections.
Post-elections, yes.
Exactly. They say, no, I keep some money in my money in the bank.
In fact, for many people, they will tell you that during elections, money is slow. So we don't want to risk our investments.
You see, and this is what we say in business economics,
right?
And investment. We say when the period is slow, when the economy is around there, this is the time to invest. This is the time to buy shares. Because others, as they are shying away, the shares are about there. They are not raising a lot. So this is the time to buy and invest. And also, Julie, this is the time to produce and stock, so that when the campaigns are away and we are back to business as usual, you are selling more. So why don't you now produce in your factories a lot and stock and prepare for the harvest time? Because the harvest time is coming. But also let me tell you that during the campaigns, there are industries, there are sectors, including retail, including the print and media, including the printing industry, including the clothing, who make T-shirts, who make designer clothes. For these people, this is their time to harvest, because people who are campaigning are buying shirts, caps, T-shirts, gomeses, other dress and wear, kanzus, all this. So is it not the time? So I encourage people, this is the time not to sleep, this is the time to market Uganda. And when they are campaigning, Judy, we should be out trying to look to attract investors. And let me mention, investors are both local and foreign.
Very important.
Yes, people always think that investors are only foreign. And they come with a different color of their skin. But I can tell you, investors come in all colors and they begin from home. So this is the time to be encouraging them. In fact, when I was invited by you guys for this show, I said, let me come. This is really an opportunity to market Uganda, to tell people this is the time to invest. This is the time for you people in the government to tell us to invest more.
Good morning, Julie, and our guest, Mr. Eli. This is Isaac Wanzala from West Nile. I hope I can retrieve your message. All right, you say, I think we can market Uganda during election period through the culture perspective. For example, Kadodi dances and other cultural involvements. That is Isaac from West Nile who's watching us from there. Thank you, Isaac, for being on the show. Now, Eli, let me ask, how do you think we've failed? Or, for example, in the past elections, how have we failed to market Uganda, and what lessons should we pick from then that we should apply now before it's too late?
Thank you very much. And you know, Julia, I've been here longer than you.
Yes.
So I have observed during every election time,
right.
and maybe you have also observed it during your time too, that there is a tendency, and you said it in the previous part, that people during this period, even business people are saying, I will wait. And what are you waiting for? Because you see, in business, we normally say that when you are planning a business, first of all, always plan 5 years at least, not less than 5 years. And if you are going to establish a factory or an industry, you really cannot even make profits. Even during the 5 years, you are already constructing buildings, infrastructure, equipment, machines. Some you have to import them. So you should not stop. You should stop. If you already are establishing a factory, you are concentrating on that. If you are already producing, you are producing more. In the past, and you ask me, in the past the tendency has been that I will sit and wait. You know what I mean? I will sit and wait until after elections. History has proved to us and has shown to us that Uganda has had stable government and security for almost 4 decades now.
Right.
40 years. So in the business, we do what we call business plans. Business plans, most cases are 5 years. There are even those who make 10 years. So one of the factors we put in our planning is what we call operating environment. Operating environment or business environment. In our business, we already project that this business will behave this way until a certain period, including the politics, including the economics, including the laws, including the security. So if history has already informed us that we have been here for more than almost 40 years, isn't it? And that the economy has been growing, even that during COVID, Uganda was resilient and we made more money. What do you think is going to happen during this election that makes you lose your business that you have been engaged in for 30 years? And then what do you want to do then after you have missed almost a year? Because like I've told you, from September to January and Feb, campaigns and voting.
Right.
After that, the new cabinet, the swearing in, will come maybe between then and May. So when you add this, you are almost losing 1 year. In business, if you lose a year, and that's why I'm telling people in MDAs, in government ministries, departments and agencies, please continue helping the investors to invest, continue helping the business people with good facilitation and advice and support to be able to access markets, with them to invest, with them to juggle the laws, with them to know how to do taxes and pay them. Because can you imagine if a county is going to lose tax revenue for 1 year because the private sector is not working, because the government people have failed to tell them that Uganda has been stable and will continue to be stable.
Right. We are looking at how to market Uganda during election period. And the guest we have today is Eli Twineo Kamgisha, who is an economist and an author, but currently also serves at Uganda's New Exports and Free Zones Agency. Have a question, have an opinion, 0709 602-592. Now, let's indeed look at MDS.
Yes.
How do you think they can balance neutrality in the name of marketing Uganda during this sensitive season of elections? How best do you think they can balance neutrality without leaning politically to a side of a party more than that of a government, given that the ruling party, of course, is the government right now? How do you think they should balance that?
Thank you, Julie, for this question. First and foremost, the government staff, both civil servants and public servants, civil servants, permanent and pensionable, and those contractors who are working on contract, and most of them are in agencies, because in ministries and departments mostly they are permanent and pensionable and they are civil servants. They have been hired by the citizens of Uganda.
All right.
For service delivery. They have been hired, and by law they are apolitical. When time for voting comes, they vote, and all of them, I encourage all of them when time comes to vote, because all their vote matters, and they all have a right in their land to vote for the candidate of their choice. Because if they don't vote, then they have denied this country and themselves good leadership. But as far as their work, by nature, they are supposed to serve everybody.
Right.
That is how they have been hired. And like I said in my article in the New Vision, their role is not campaign. Their role, they don't have a place where to campaign. Those who chose to join politics had to resign, and therefore have gone for campaigns, and therefore they have joined that. But those for government, us the citizens, we have hired the civil servants and public servants, government staff, to provide the service. And their staff is service delivery duty, whether there is campaign or not campaign. And I don't expect that they shouldn't be neutral, because that is their role. They have been hired to serve the citizens, to serve all of them. And the majority I have met, Julie, most of the majority I have met, actually they are doing this. They are observing this. They are doing this. The only issue we are saying, Judy, is that during this period, they need not to sleep on the job, because actually this is the opportunity. We had, and rest in peace, we loved you, we liked you very much, Keith Mhakanzi, who was a PS and permanent secretary and secretary to the Treasury of Government, Minister of Finance, and later on joined the office of the Prime Minister. Rest in peace, Keith. He said during this campaign, one time we had a meeting, he said, this is the opportunity now. When those people are there making noise, when those people are there doing their campaigns, he said, this is the time for us to rush with things that have to be done, because then they are not disturbing us. He said, then is the time when, by the time they come, they find when we're delivered. But he said, what happens when they come and out of the campaigns, they find nothing. Because when they come back anyway, and it is true, Julie, when they come back, they want to find an economy running. They want to find a budget. Because if you became the president and won elections, you want to run an economy. You want to run a government. You want to run a country. So you need to find the money on the consolidated account. You want to find money that URA has collected taxes. You want to find money that Uganda Investment Authority has brought new investors and they're investing. So you are getting foreign exchange in form of what? Of foreign direct investments. You want to find money that our local investors who had accumulated the money have built factories and are beginning to pay taxes. But you want to find money that an export promotion agency has been looking for markets and people are exporting, because the best way to get foreign exchange is not to beg for it, but to earn it.
All right. A comment comes through. Good morning, Julie, and good morning, Ellie. Thank you for the show. Julie, the gentleman is talking more like a politician than an economist. No investor can risk their money at a period of uncertainty In Africa, there is no certainty when it comes to the political environment. We saw it in Kenya recently. This is Ronnie Chijambu, who's here in Kampala. What would you tell Ronnie?
My brother Ronnie, I don't know how old you are, but at least the fact that you can call in the studio and ask this question, I'm sure you're above 18. This is what I'm saying. And this has been like the colonial mentality, the European mentality, where they say Africa. I never say Africa. I actually say Uganda. Ronnie, I have lived in developed countries. I have seen them live very well during campaigns, and people even made more money during campaigns. As a matter of fact, we can even give Elon Musk during and after the campaigns, he became a more multi-billionaire and others. So, I have seen other African countries, I have seen Asian countries, and I have been to some during even the campaigns. I have seen European countries, I have seen North American countries. Let me tell you, for when it is like Western, those developed countries, and especially European and white, who have that tendency of saying that African. There is no African. There is Uganda. Uganda is having campaigns. There are also campaigns in Tanzania. There are also campaigns in some other countries in West Africa. I wouldn't want to go there. That's why I have not said this is the time to invest and market Africa. No. This is the time to invest in Uganda. This is the time to market Uganda. This is the time to export from Uganda. Why? Because we have, in economics, we call it economic history.
Right.
Economic history, you see the past. And for us in economics, when we are doing projections, we don't base it on 5 years, not even on 10. At best, we do 20 and above. If in the last 40 years, we have had elections, and we have, Judy, and this has not happened, what is going to happen that really is you know what we call deus ex machina? Deus ex machina in the other language means like it has come from somewhere we don't know, and has fallen like in a tax pack, and it's pandemonium. And like it is so too much will come, because, for example, during campaigns have come. I have been working. I have not stopped. People have not stopped, and I'm sure Ron has not stopped. Tell me what is spectacular that we see, that is different, that is so bad, that we are seeing during these elections. And you see, for investors and business people who have put their money, they are wiser than us, Judy. So they know very well that if this was the wrong economy, they wouldn't be in it. If this was the wrong country, they would have invested. But I tell you, Uganda, in the last 5 years, has been getting more, even foreign investments, new money coming into this country, have been getting new markets to buy our products. You can see tourism after COVID. We have more tourists coming in, and now we are around. I normally use the word informal and formal trade, right, of $2 billion of what? Of tourism money, what we call tourist receipts. We are now around also 2 billion of diaspora remittances, and exports are formal and informal. If you do the actual calculation that I do better than other places, is around $13 billion. So trust the process, trust your country. Don't say in Africa. No, say in Uganda. Then we say in Uganda has it happened.
Perhaps let's connect Ronnie's sentiments to the fact that in your article, you pushed the ideology of peace and stability as a phrase that we should use.
As a tagline.
A tagline that we should use to market Uganda in this season. We all know sometimes, at least for the past experiences we've had and seen, we've seen Uganda have tension around election season, where some people fail to even go to work because they are worried something might happen in Kampala. using the tagline peace and stability and thinking about where Ronnie's headspace is right now as he sent his message, how do you think we can convince investors and the public to be a part of Uganda's economic stability and growth in this season as we market it, whilst the tensions also exist at the same time?
Julie and Ron, thank you very much for this, giving me this opportunity to respond.
Right.
You see, in marketing, and especially country marketing, but also company marketing,
right,
you give hope. You give hope to your stakeholders. Your stakeholders at a company level are customers or clients, if it is a service, are the investors or shareholders in the company, are government, because government is interested in your business because you have to pay taxes, but also you are creating jobs, and the other stakeholders are the media. All these stakeholders need a message.
Right.
And a message of hope. They need a message that you give them assurance. In fact, in marketing, and especially marketing a country, there is what we can use, we call it DRIP, D-R-I-P. You differentiate yourself from all others and the previous situations. You remind, stroke reassure your audiences and your stakeholders that Uganda is here to stay. You remind them, you reassure them that Uganda has had elections before. And even sometimes when there has been small skirmishes and intermittent, Uganda has not disappeared. I can tell you, even when some people, there used to be those times, now it doesn't happen, where even some investors used it to pack their bags and even fly to London. Others would be in Kenya and watching over the border. And then sometimes they come and tell you, why did we waste money? So we remind, we differentiate Uganda from other people. We differentiate what we are our offering and what we are doing. We remind and we assure these people of what Uganda is, where it has come from, and where it is going. But also we inform, and let me tell you, information is so important. I want Julie and Ron to inform all other people, even after this audience, that Uganda is here and has been stable for all these years, almost 40 years, and Uganda is here. Campaigns, and I said it in my article, Julie, democracy is a cost, and it's an expensive cost, and you cannot avoid it. Personally, I have had discussions where I said, Julie, we don't need to waste money during elections. I have even said, can't we use this money to do more roads, to do railways, to do even standard gauge railway, to do buildings, health facilities, to build other hospitals, to build the schools for our children, and to do other things. But I have been reminded that again, you need democracy, isn't it?
True.
And when you need democracy, you have to go through elections. And elections, they don't come cheap. So they come with even what he says sometimes that there will be some confusion, there will be some, because, Julie, I avoid two things as much as possible. One is soccer. When I was a young man at campus, I'm going to do exams tomorrow, but I have to watch soccer. So imagine my life and soccer. So I realized soccer and politics were all emotional. So I said, let me now put them aside. Can I be a person who markets Uganda? Can I be a person who promotes Uganda? Can I be an analyst and an economist who can analyze? Can I be an author? Can I encourage Ugandans? And when I am encouraging people, Julie, I want them to see me. Those who know my history and those who know where I have been and what I have gone through and in different places, I want them to see me and see themselves in their eyes that I am telling them.
All right.
I had options to live in different countries abroad and enjoy life, and I have lived in those countries. But I have realized that if we don't build Uganda, we will not have a country to live in, and we must market Uganda. In addition, the rest one, Julie, we should even persuade.
That's the
as part of my model DRIP, we should we should differentiate, we should remind and reassure, we should inform people, but also we should persuade. We should persuade others who have not seen it that Uganda is the right place to be, that Uganda is the right place to invest in, that Uganda is the right place to visit, that in fact, Uganda is the car you must drive before you die. The only car you must drive before you die, you know?
Very interesting. DRIP is the acronym. Differentiate yourself from the situation. In other words, differentiate Uganda from all the bad situations of Africa and choose to have a different perspective that you can bring to life. And the R is for remind and assure the public and the investors about what Uganda is, but also inform, give the right information of what really is on ground. Yes, there are bad things, but also there are good things that we could choose to focus on. And P is for persuade. Uganda is the only car that you haven't driven. So persuade others to be on board for Uganda. Interesting acronym there that I think you should actually borrow and pick a leaf and use it and chew on it, use it, drink it, take it as tea, and use it for your nation. Uganda 0709602592. We are with Eli Twineo Kamgisha, and we're looking at how to market Uganda during this election period. While it sounds like a paradox, elections and marketing Uganda sort of don't fit in the same statement, but he is here to actually make it make sense for us. And you're allowed to share your opinion and ask your question. 0709602592. Now, Eli is an economist and an author. He's also currently at Uganda's new exports and free zones agencies serving there. Someone comes through and says most public servants have gone to their villages to campaign for the government. I do not know if this is marketing Uganda or distorting service delivery. What would you say to this viewer?
Put those on notes. Put those civil servants and public servants whose job is to make sure that Uganda's economy grows and who have no role in the elections processes.
Cycle, yes.
And they are going to their villages. This is abscondment. In fact, the government should, and you know, those civil servants have rules and regulations regarding abscondment from duty. In the military, they call it a war, and they can give you punishments, but also even in agencies, they have their human resource manuals and other manuals that guide on how people should be at work.
Right.
During this time, I'm telling you, everybody who is not in the elections process should be doing the work which Kisma can say that this is the time to do a lot of. But please, Judy, remember, after the elections, and these politicians have been sworn in, because they are going to be sworn in from the president to cabinet to all the way.
Local government, yes.
Yeah, local government, MPs. They are going to ask for accountability for this period. There will be an audit for this period from government employees. And this audit will be conducted by Auditor General's office, and it will be presented to the Parliament, because Parliament has the role of, budget process and appropriation, receiving the budget from the executive, and they would be, they will say, why didn't you perform? Why didn't you perform? You get what I mean? So if I am giving them a warning that, you see, the politicians are doing their work, they are campaigning, and once they win, they will be sworn in. And once they are sworn in, they said, what were you doing?
Yes.
When I was campaigning.
Right, right.
So the politicians already have you see, they are doing their work very well. They are campaigning, they are going to win and be sworn in. So, and they ask you, let me tell you, Judy, from September to May, literally, you have almost a year. So, and this is what I'm saying, Judy. If the public servants and civil servants, government employees think that we don't need now to keep working, which literally we can say marketing Uganda, because if they are doing service delivery, they are directly or indirectly marketing Uganda. If they think that this period is to waste time, and to waste me, I'm a citizen, to waste our citizens' money because I pay taxes, I contribute to the economy. I don't want my money to be wasted. If they think this period is to be wasted, then let the Minister of Finance not allocate a budget.
All right.
Let's allocate on a budget for political activities, and let's not allocate budget. But then if finance doesn't allocate budget, then after elections, where will we get money to run the country?
From what I am learning from you, Eli, it's, I think, a matter of perspective. Because the fact remains there are things that are happening that we can't deny.
Yes.
But two different people can see these things from two different angles. Same thing, different perspectives, different angles. And at the end of the day, all angles breed a result. Either a result that builds Uganda or one that destroys Uganda. It's what I'm getting from this conversation today. Someone comes through and says, good morning, Julie and Eli. Thanks for the sensitization. In fact, Eli is talking economics, and I appreciate him for. He is opening up our minds, because otherwise some of us were having that bad policy of keeping money instead of stocking goods. Let politicians do their work, and let's indeed continue with our work normally as well, because we have the peace and freedom to work. Thank you. This is Sakol Francis Rashid of Busana, Kayunga District. Thank you so much, Francis, for being on the show, and thank you for that very important submission. Eli, let's look at foreign missions. What do you think they can do to contribute to the marketing of Uganda, foreign missions and embassies, and how best can they be helped?
Thank you very much, and that is a very good one. And you know, I have big interest in economic and commercial diplomacy. But before I go that, let me say this thing.
Right.
We, as human beings, there is a tendency that we are ruled more by emotion than reason. And our eyes, our sight is always crowded by the apparent, especially emotion.
Right.
You look at, but you see, rationality and business sense and business case requires that we don't always look at short-term, immediate issue. You see, if somebody came and slapped you, the first thing is emotion.
You'd want to slap them back.
Immediately.
Yes.
But sometimes that decision,
you might regret.
You might regret it.
Right.
And maybe sometimes this person has slapped you, pushing you off something that was going to hurt you more. But the only way to do it was to like slap you and push you
off.
By the time you realize a vehicle which would have knocked you has gone. So people never first think emotionally, why has he done it? Or why is this happening to me? In the heat of the moment, if you have ever heard of another song, in the heat of the moment. In the heat of the moment, people tend more to emotion than reason. But once you have looked at reason and rationality, you'll find that that's right. But let me rush to what you asked me, which is economic and commercial diplomacy. Our missions are our eyes in the foreign, in the target mission, in the target countries. You see, a country sets its own foreign policy strategy. And Uganda's foreign policy strategy now is mainly now economic and commercial diplomacy. Marketing Uganda in foreign missions. Around around end of April, beginning of May, I was invited. People think I could be an expert on economic and commercial diplomacy. I know how to market Uganda, especially in foreigners. So I was invited as one of the keynote speakers in Abu Dhabi by our Ugandan embassies, which are based in UAE and all Middle East Asia, to discuss how to promote and market our Uganda. Because we are supposed to market investments, we are supposed to market tourism, we are supposed to market exports, we are supposed to attract technologies, but also we are supposed, over and above commercial diplomacy, we also are supposed to attract cultural diplomacy, we are supposed to link people, but also politically we are supposed to do that.
Right.
So we are saying that our missions are our eyes in those countries where they are accredited. All government agencies that I know in Uganda these days, URA at least, and immigration,
right.
They are in our missions now, they have offices. But beyond that, most of our government agencies, which are supposed to market Uganda, the Export Promotion Agency, the Investment Promotion Agency, the Tourism Promotion Agency, and even Standards and others, they are not in our target markets. It is our embassies and missions and high commissions and the consulates. So they are all during this time. Actually is paramount. I use the word paramount.
Right.
And it is penultimate and it is ultimate that they have to market, they have to promote Uganda, they have to continue attracting investors. In fact, again, as people are campaigning, this is the time for these missions to be given enough budget so that they begin moving. You know, I mean, if you are, for example, let me use a small country but rich, like United Arab Emirates. United Arab Emirates, our embassy is based in Abu Dhabi. But there is Dubai, which we know the business center. But there is Sharjah, there is Ras Al Khaimah, and the other places. So this is the time when these people are in campaigns to be given enough budgets. They go to these different Emirates to promote Uganda. And this is the time to be answering candid questions. But this Uganda is doing campaigns, and this is the time our embassies should be telling them, but you know, you guys, we have been here peaceful for 40 years. In the middle, Judy, in the middle of a chaotic, sometimes intermittent political challenges are occurring within our major neighbors,
right.
But we have been there. So they are sure. And you see, in marketing, you make comparisons. In marketing, sometimes you don't say it directly. MTN and Airtel are supposed to compete. And therefore, they market themselves differently. Sometimes telling you that, you know, we are better than what? We are better, one would say, I'm better than another. I'll give you an example. You know, rental cars, especially in Europe, in UK, example, we have two companies. We have Avis and Hertz. People call it Hertz, but it's called Avis and Hertz. These two companies are the major competitors historically, before even you got Uber, in the market for rental cars or rent a car. So one promotes himself, he said, we are number 2. So we work hard, they are honest about it, we are number 2. So we work hard, we wash our cars early, we prepare early because we know there is another competitor who is greater than us. So they are honest to do that.
Right.
And in marketing, there is what we call under-positioning and over-positioning. Never under-position yourself because people might take you cheap. But never over-position yourself, because when they ask you, but you said, when I eat your meal, it also comes with free coffee, and then you say you are paying for the coffee, I may not come back. So never over-position yourself, never under-position yourself, but have what we call honest positioning. And even in my article in the New Year, I said, give factual information about Uganda. Our missions, our embassies, our consulates should give factual information about Uganda. There is no doubt, and I'm not a politician, you know, Judy, and I'm not standing anytime soon. There is all information that Uganda has been peaceful for a period. There is all information that Uganda's business and economy has been growing over this period. There is all the information that even the politics have been stable.
Right.
There is all the information that actually Uganda has also been part of creating peace in some of our neighboring countries.
Right.
Yeah.
Very, very pertinent at that. Now, this conversation has to come to its close, but drip, just as Eli is dripping in his Ugandan fashion attire. He's surely telling you that I'm dripping and I'm smart, but it's an acronym he also uses that to mean drip. D is for differentiate Uganda from all the bad situations in Africa. in general and all the bad situations that have happened in the past, but also be sure to remind and assure that of what Uganda is, where it was, where it has been, and where it's going. But also make sure that you inform with facts, inform those that need this information, investors, public, anyone who needs it, but at the same time persuade them to be a part of the Ugandan story, because one thing for sure, it's beautiful and the facts are there. They cannot be hidden. So drip on in fashion and in utterances for your country. Ellie, in just 1 minute, what message should we push to brand Uganda with moving forward? What message should we utter?
Uganda is peace and stable and has been growing. And everybody should know that Uganda will continue to grow. All estimates, all analysis has shown that Uganda is poised to be the fastest growing country among the three, by the way, globally, in the whole world. Those facts have not even, they have not been, that research and work has not been done by Ugandan Minister of Finance, by Ugandan State House, it is by international reputable places, universities like Harvard, centers, McKinsey. So Uganda, I tell you, these campaigns, again, while I say it is a long time, it will be a short time, because these campaigns will end and we'll have another 5 years.
Right.
In fact, Judy, what I want, and you guys should not crucify me, because you know I am not standing for a campaign. I'm not, so that when I leave here, I go to run for a campaign. How I think we should extend a period of leadership, that when the 5 year might be too short. And my view is that we spend more money in elections. Democracy is expensive as a cost. How we could extend it maybe for 7 years or even for 10 years, so that we have a longer time to work and conduct business.
Right, Eli Twineo Kamugisha, he is an economist and an author. He's also currently serving at Uganda's new Exports and Free Zones Agency, and he's been speaking with us. Hopefully you've picked many leaves to use for Uganda, for God and my country. Good morning.